Hello there, wanderer of the interwebs. My name is Dave, and you just saw me browsing my copy of Call of Cthulhu 6th edition by Chaosium Inc. That's a tabletop RPG. Perhaps you've heard of them. Well, this one happens to be the first one I ever got. Most people start with D&D, and like the often misunderstood poem by Robert Frost, I'd like to tell myself that taking the path less traveled made all the difference. By which I mean to say that my perspective and approach to the hobby is, if not unique, then at least far afield of the fat part of the bell curve. My expectations for a game is not that the player characters will be some overpowered heroes resolving every conflict with violence. No, my expectation is that they'll be a scrappy band of underdogs whose individual skills together might just be enough to overcome the odds. My expectation is that the players will have to rely on their own ingenuity far more often than their dice rolls. That the characters will fail and die, but the players will learn and adapt and progress. But no matter what my or anyone else's expectations are, tabletop RPGs are designed to present you with the unexpected. This, to me, is what makes these so special. It makes them an experience that no other media can replicate. For example, when I picked this up years ago, I ran a campaign from this book called The Corbett House. I had no idea what I was getting into. Sure, part of that is that it was my first time playing the game, and inexperience is going to mean you're going to have some hiccups and learning curves or cliffs along the way. That anxiety over having those hiccups and those issues from not understanding how the game works keeps some people from even playing them. You're going to do that. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. Hang in there, because it's worth it. And I'll also argue this point, that now all these years later, if I were to take this same game, run the same scenario, with the same group of friends, I would still not know what I was getting into. That's the nature of RPGs. And I would have to do the same thing that I had to learn how to do back then, which is learn, adapt, and progress. But hopefully today I do that a little quicker, a little better than I did back then. With that overlong intro out of the way, I want to present you with a system-neutral encounter that's meant not just to challenge your players, but to actively mess with their expectations. My name is Dave, and these are my barbaric visions. Your players enter a new town, or a city, a place they've never been before. They see the people there going about their lives. They get a drink at the tavern, visit the barber for a haircut. Maybe they see the mayor giving a speech, talk to the local blacksmith about getting some gear, or help the constabulary stop a thief. After engaging in various activities, their adventure calls them away, but when they come back, they notice something has changed with the town. The tavern proprietor is now the chief of police. The barber is now the blacksmith, and the thief is now the mayor. What's more, they have no memory of having played different roles previously when they met your players. Their personalities have all been swapped around. Not only that, their memories have been swapped around as well. Like, you're talking to the blacksmith, who's a completely different person, but they remember you from when you encountered the person that was there before, as if nothing has changed. Clearly something unnatural is going on here. Some dark magic or cosmic force has come in to mess with the natural order of things and shuffle up these people's identities like a deck of cards. From this description, or perhaps the title of this episode you might have seen before you clicked on it, some of you might know where I'm getting this idea from. I'm hoping that for most of you this is new, because I'd love to be the one to introduce it to you. I was inspired by the 1998 sci-fi thriller movie, Dark City. I don't want to spoil it, but the premise is similar to what I'm describing here. It has many inventive visuals as well. It's a brilliant movie. I love it. Now it's a bit obscure. It was very overshadowed by The Matrix, which came out about a year later. And they're kind of similar in ways, visually, thematically. It's also very, 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 very likely to be the inspiration for the movie Inception. So if you've never heard of this movie, go check it out. Now, the nature of games being what they are, your players are going to investigate what's going on here. They're going to find the evil wizard, the aliens, the cyber technology that's controlling people's minds. They're going to seek that out, fight the bad guys, and set things right. But with a premise like this, can you ever really set things right? I mean, think about what's happened to these people. Their minds have been messed with. And your players are seeking to fix that, undo that, reset. How exactly are they going to solve that problem? I don't know. And that's one of the brilliant things is that you can go into a game like this not knowing the answer to that and see what your players come up with. And you can sit there as the GM and say, oh, you discovered my plan. Yep, that's what I was thinking the whole time. Nope. No, it wasn't. You know I'm talking about GMs. You've done this before. So here, the GM should give the players an option. Once they've beaten the bad guy and they've stopped this mind control, the identity swapping thing, once they put that to an end, ask the players, do you want to reveal this or not? Do you want to let the people know what's been happening to them? Or just leave it alone? Walk away? Like, if they don't tell the people, then whatever identities the people had when the players stop the changes from happening, that's the identity that person is then stuck with. That's who they're going to be from then on. And what are the implications of that? Like here, let's just suggest a few potentialities here. There could be people who were in prison for crimes they didn't commit. And I'm not just talking about like Shawshank Redemption. I'm talking about like literally someone else committed these crimes and then their identity was switched for theirs. And now they're serving a prison sentence for something they did not do at all. The judge who sentenced them might have been the person who committed the crime in the first place. It could have been. They were all shuffled up. More than that, the only reason the person committed the crime in the first place was that whoever was doing this gave them a personality and put them in a situation where they were basically compelled to commit crimes. Like, they wouldn't have normally done that. That's because their agency was taken away. Whoever was behind this put this situation into motion, caused this to happen. So it was like, it wasn't their choice to go and out and commit crimes. They've been having their identity switched on a weekly, monthly basis, who knows? And think about just like relationships of like friends and families, just getting that swapped around as well. Like you could be married to someone who's a complete stranger to you, really. That's just swapped around. Parents of children swapped around. The children, everyone's getting swapped around. And if this had been going on long enough, this might have been going on for their entire lives, which just happened to stop, like spinning the wheel of fortune when your players came in and interfered. But if your players don't tell anybody this was happening, then no one will know. No one will know that there was ever anything different than their current reality. And what if they do reveal the truth? What if they tell the people, hey, this is what's been happening to you. You've had your minds messed with. Is that a good thing to know? Really? Like all the problems these people would have had not knowing that this was going on, those problems still exist. They just now are aware of what was happening. And what does being aware of what was happening mean? Like, do they remember all these different lives? Do they remember memories that were implanted from other people's experiences? And how can they tell which is which? How can they ever trust their own memories? How can they be sure they are who they think they are? How do you go on with your life after that, after finding that out? And like I said, this could have been going on since they were children, having new identities swapped around all the time. You'd have no idea who your friends, your parents, anybody in your life really was. You wouldn't know who you were. Would you want to go through that? How does the human brain even begin to process that? It would be like everyone would be having this mental breakdown and your heroes would be standing there going, I saved you. Aren't you glad? Yeah, thanks, I guess, but who the hell am I? And if your players are expecting some reward, some payoff, simply remind them that no one asked them to help here. No one made them get involved. This was their choice. They pursued this. They interfered on their own. No matter what good they thought they were going to do, the consequences of your actions are not always what you expect them to be. Sometimes there are no solutions. There are no happy endings. As they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. We are but weary travelers, traveling down that road, just trying to do what we think is best. Thanks for watching. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment if your players have ever been like, hey, this is a game, remember? We're supposed to have fun. We're not playing this to have existential crises. And you just look at them and laugh, and laugh, and laugh.